What does it feel like to be surrounded by people and still feel invisible? That's the quiet pain many seniors carry in their final years. Not the pain of illness. Not the pain of aging bones or fading vision. But the pain of slowly being erased from conversations, from calendars, from memory. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Before we begin, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I read every one. Your presence here isn't just welcomed. It's needed. Now, let's face a truth that rarely gets spoken out loud. Loneliness doesn't arrive all at once. It sneaks in slowly. A missed birthday call. A shorter visit. A glance at the clock during dinner. Until one day, you're sitting by a window, watching the world go on without you. And the most heartbreaking part? Many of the seniors who feel forgotten were once unforgettable. Take Mr. Halvorsen. I met him at a hospice center in Minnesota. He was 88. A war veteran. A father of 3. Built his house with his own hands. But when I asked if his children visited often, he looked out the window and said, "They're busy now. They have lives. No bitterness. No anger. Just a quiet kind of acceptance. The kind that sinks deep into your chest." You see, end-of-life loneliness doesn't always look like being alone. Sometimes it's sitting in a room full of family and still feeling like no one really sees you. Sometimes it's having a nurse ask when you last ate, but never asking what your favorite meal was growing up. That's the difference between being cared for and being remembered. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 40% of seniors report regular feelings of loneliness. But the number doesn't tell the whole story. Because it's not just about who's around you. It's about who still sees you. Let me introduce you to Darlene. She's 84, lives in a retirement community in Arizona. Used to be a ballroom dancer. Big smile, bright eyes. "I used to be the one who planned the parties," she said. "Now, I wait to see if someone remembers to invite me to one." She laughed when she said it. But her eyes didn't. Her children still visit. But they're often distracted. Always on their phones. They correct her gently when she repeats herself. They smile, but their minds are elsewhere. And Darlene? She says she's learned not to take up too much space. "I don't want to be a burden," she whispered. "I just don't want to be forgotten." And that's the reality many seniors live with. Slowly fading from the center of the story they once led. The second truth we need to face is this. Loneliness doesn't just hurt emotionally. It breaks the body. Studies now show that chronic loneliness in older adults can increase the risk of dementia by up to 40%. It raises blood pressure, weakens the immune system, and can even shorten life expectancy at a rate comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But unlike smoking, you won't see warning labels. You won't hear alarm bells. Loneliness doesn't shout. It settles in quietly, like dust. I remember a man named Elmer. 91. No family left. He told me, "I talk to the radio sometimes. Pretend it's talking back." He smiled like it was a joke. But then he asked, softly, "Do you think anyone will come to my funeral?" That's the kind of question that lingers in your mind. Long after the room goes quiet. Because it's not just about death. It's about meaning. Legacy. Connection. The need every human being has to be remembered. To be held in someone's thoughts. To matter. Now here's another piece of the puzzle. Many seniors feel more like patients than people. Especially those in assisted living or nursing homes. Their names fade into room numbers. Their stories are replaced with medical charts. Their identities become a list of needs, medications, and routines. Estelle, 86, was a school principal for 35 years. Tough, brilliant, proud. She told me they don't ask about my students, just whether I've had a bowel movement. She reached under her pillow and showed me an old class photo. These kids made me who I am, she said. But here, I'm just 204. That's what loneliness really is. Not just the absence of people, but the absence of being seen. When no one remembers who you were. Or worse, who you still are. So if this is touching something inside you, maybe because you felt it yourself, or maybe because someone you love is going through it, I invite you to keep listening. Because this isn't just a problem to point out. It's a truth to hold gently, with compassion. And it's a chance to change something, before it's too late. If this message resonates with you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? Because this isn't just a video. It's a space where every story matters. Especially yours. There's a memory that still stays with me. It's the image of James, 92 years old, once a welder, now lying quietly in a care home in Michigan. He had no family left, no visitors that week. But he kept a folded newspaper by his side. Every morning, he'd pretend to read it. When I asked him why, he said, "So I don't look like I'm just waiting for nothing." And that's where we begin. With the kind of loneliness that disguises itself as dignity. You see, many seniors who feel forgotten won't beg for attention. They won't knock on doors, or demand calls, or cry out for visitors. No, what they do instead is quieter. They smile and say, "I'm fine." They sit by the window, watching the world go on without them. They busy themselves with crossword puzzles and silent television reruns. But deep inside, they're wondering, has the world moved on? Am I still part of it? This quiet kind of suffering is something caregivers, families, even nurses, often miss. Because the elderly are masters of endurance. They've lived through wars, losses, heartbreaks. So they know how to carry pain without showing it. And that's why their loneliness is so invisible, and so dangerous. Now here's a question many seniors ask themselves. Why don't they visit anymore? It's not usually said with anger. It's more like confusion. Heard wrapped in understanding. Ruth, 87, sat across from me in a Virginia care home and said, "I know my children love me. I do. But it's been 3 months since they came by. They say they're busy. I believe them. But how long does it take to just call?" There's a heartbreaking honesty in that. Because most seniors understand that their adult children are working, raising families, juggling stress. They're not looking for daily visits or dramatic gestures. What they want is simple, a phone call. A handwritten note. A birthday remembered. A 5-minute conversation where someone asks, "How are you, really?" The sad truth is that as people age, they often become emotionally invisible to the very people they raised. And here's something else we rarely talk about. Technology has widened the generation gap more than ever before. Today's world is lightning fast. Texts, emojis, voice notes, Zoom calls, online everything. But for many seniors, especially those in their 70s, 80s, or 90s, this shift feels alienating. They grew up on rotary phones and handwritten letters. Conversations over porches. Walks to the store, where everyone knew your name. Now, they feel left behind. Not because they can't learn, but because no one takes the time to teach them gently. Carolyn, 90, told me. "My granddaughter says, you can just video chat me. But I don't know how. And I'm too embarrassed to ask again." Can you imagine that? Feeling too ashamed to ask your own grandchild for connection? That's where end-of-life loneliness starts. Not from abandonment, but from small, repeated moments of feeling out of place. Out of sync. Unwanted. And here's another piece that cuts deeply. The loneliness of not being touched. Touch is one of the most powerful human needs. Babies die without it. Lovers crave it. And yet, seniors, especially those who live alone or in facilities, can go days, weeks, even months without meaningful physical contact. No hand on the shoulder. No warm hug. No brushing of hair. No simple squeeze of the hand during conversation. I spoke to Evelyn, 81, who said, "I haven't been hugged since my husband passed, 5 years ago." She said it so casually, like someone describing the weather. But you could hear the grief in her bones. Touch isn't just about comfort. It reduces blood pressure, eases anxiety, strengthens immunity. It says, "You're not alone." It says, "You matter." It says, "I see you." When seniors stop being touched, they start feeling like ghosts. Present, but untouchable. Seen, but unreachable. And then there's this. The loneliness of feeling like you no longer belong. Imagine living through 8 decades. Raising a family. Working a job. Contributing to your community. And now, you're the only one left on your street. The music has changed. The slang is different. No one asks your opinion anymore. Roger, 88, told me, they talk about the future like we're not part of it. Like it ends with us. And that's a loneliness unlike any other, the feeling that you're not just being left behind, but being erased. But it doesn't have to be this way. Connection can still happen. At any age. And often, it starts with one moment of recognition. I once saw a volunteer named Marcus, just 17, sit with a 93-year-old man named Ellis for over an hour. They had nothing in common. Different lives, different music, different worlds. But Marcus just asked, "What was your favorite memory as a kid?" Ellis lit up. Talked about a fishing trip with his father. Described the smell of the lake. The laughter. The peanut butter sandwiches. And for a few minutes, he wasn't an old man in a quiet room. He was a boy again, back at the lake, remembered. That's all it takes. A question. A chair pulled up. A few minutes of undivided attention. Because the truth is, most seniors don't want much. They don't need grand gestures. They just want to feel real again. To have someone ask what their dreams were. To laugh. To be hugged. To be called by name. If you felt any of this loneliness in your own life, or seen it in the eyes of someone you love, then know this, it's not your fault. But it doesn't have to stay this way. There is a way forward. There is a way to bring light back into the rooms that feel too quiet. And in the next part of this video, we're going to talk about how. But for now, if this message touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and share your thoughts below. I want to know, where are you watching from? What's your story? This community is built on voices like yours. Let me tell you about Anita. She was 86, living in a small assisted living center outside of Philadelphia. Every morning, she would wheel herself to the corner of the lounge, facing a large window that looked out onto a courtyard. Same spot. Same time. Rain or shine. When I asked her why she always sat there, she said something that still echoes in my heart. It's where the sun touches me. She wasn't just talking about sunlight. She was talking about warmth, about life, about feeling alive. Because after months without visitors, without laughter, without touch, that morning sun was the only thing that made her feel like she still belonged to the world. And that's where we begin this final part. With the truth that loneliness in old age can be eased, not by fixing everything, but by bringing back the warmth. You see, the loneliness we've talked about, the kind that creeps into the hearts of the elderly, the kind that whispers, "You don't matter anymore," it doesn't need a miracle to heal. It needs something much simpler. It needs presence. Let's talk about a few powerful ways seniors, and those who care about them, can push back against this silence, this fading. First, bring back conversations that matter. Too often, we talk at seniors, not with them. Did you take your pills? What did the doctor say? Did you eat enough today? But those aren't conversations. They're checklists. The elderly want to talk about their lives. They want to share memories. They want to laugh at their own stories, even if they've told them 10 times. When someone asks a senior, "What was the happiest moment of your life?" you can see the years fall away. Their eyes light up. Their voice softens. Because now they're not just being managed. They're being remembered. So whether you're a grandchild, a nurse, or a neighbor, ask something real. What was your first job? Who did you dance with at your wedding? What advice would you give someone my age? The answers might surprise you. And they will definitely stay with you. Second, include them, even when it's inconvenient. Loneliness often comes from being left out of the rhythm of life. Family gatherings, church services, even errands. Seniors are often excluded not out of cruelty, but because it seems easier or faster to do things without them. But inclusion isn't about convenience. It's about dignity. Bring them to the grocery store. Invite them to family dinners. Let them hold the baby. Let them stir the soup. Let them sit beside you while you fold laundry. Because presence heals more than any medicine. I once visited a home where a young couple brought their grandmother to every weekend picnic, walker and all. They set up a chair for her. Put a glass of lemonade in her hand. Let her feel the breeze. She never said much, but she smiled the entire time. That kind of inclusion? That's what saves lives. Third, reclaim the power of touch. A hand on the back. A hug before leaving. Brushing their hair. Holding hands during prayer or silence. These moments may seem small, but to someone who hasn't been touched in weeks or months, they are everything. Physical touch says, "You're here. You're still part of us." I once held the hand of a man named Henry during his last days. As I sat beside him, he whispered, "Thank you for not being afraid to touch me." He didn't mean the tubes or the machines. He meant his humanity. Don't underestimate the healing power of physical presence. It reaches deeper than words ever can. Fourth, help them reconnect with purpose. One of the most painful parts of end-of-life loneliness is the feeling of uselessness. The idea that their best days are behind them, and all that's left is waiting. But I'm here to tell you, that's a lie. Seniors still have purpose. They have lessons, memories, experiences that younger generations desperately need. Start a project. Record their stories. Let them write letters to their grandkids. Help them plant a garden. Ask them to teach you something, how to sew, how to whistle, how to tell a story. You'll see their eyes light up. Their back straighten. Their voice gets stronger. Because when people feel needed, they stop feeling forgotten. And finally, if you are a senior feeling lonely right now, please listen to me. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And someone out there needs the wisdom you carry. So speak up. Write a letter. Join a group. Call someone. Share your favorite memory in the comments below. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice trembles. Even if it's been a long time. You still have a place in this world. Because loneliness, though powerful, can be broken the moment two hearts connect. And this video, this channel, this moment right now, is a chance to make that connection. If this message has spoken to you today, I want to ask you for 3 things. First, like this video, so it reaches others who need it. Second, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, where senior health, life stories, and real wisdom come together to build something meaningful. Third, comment below, tell me, where are you watching from? And if you've ever felt lonely, or broken through loneliness, share that too. You never know who it might help. Here's to the hands that still deserve to be held. To the stories waiting to be told. To the lives that still have so much left to give. And here's to you, my friend. Still here. Still breathing. Still worthy. Always.